this video, we are going to continue learning how to set up views and renderings, mainly focusing on the interior. I need to warn you, if you have used assets from Inkscape, you will not do your renderings through Revit. You will still set them up, etc. But for the rendering process, you need to see the drawing assignment, interior and exterior renderings option 2. Inkscape assets will not render in Revit. They will just be gray abstract objects. So one of your views is to be somewhere in here looking up at your other floors. So I'm going to start again with my camera view, and I'm going to pick from here to here. Again, I want to be able to see the upper floors, so I'm going to raise this up. And I'm going to pull this back just a little bit, and I'm going to pull this back just a little bit. And I'm seeing way too much of the floor here. Again, I don't want it to be real square in shape. So let's say this is the view that I decided on. Again, I'm going to type in WT. And once I kind of get my views set up the way I want it, then I can start adding stuff in again. So one of the first things I want to do is I want to kind of go down here to my realistic and kind of see what I've got going on. So I've got some wood floors, I've got some brick on the walls over here. Everything else looks like it's kind of painted a gray color. Let's say I want to do an accent on this wall. If I go to modify and I go here to paint, and I can either bring in my own colors or I can use what's here. I'm going to use Sightgrass, and I come over here and I select this wall. You'll see it turns it to that nice lovely green color. So I can go in and modify all this. Again, if I want to change all my door frame colors, I can make whatever changes I want and get it the way that I want it to be. Once I do that, then I need to start adding people, pictures, things like that. So say I want to add a picture on a wall. So I'm going to do a little section through here. And again, I'm going to need to go to the internet, and I'm going to find a picture of a beach. I'm going to use this picture right here. And I'm going to do save image as, and I'm going to save it into my same places. And I'm going to zoom in here on this wall. So I set my settings to fine and realistic, insert, and I have something called decal. It's called place decal. And it says first to find the decal that I want. So if I click down here, create a new decal, then over here I can come to the picture and I can see it and I can crop it, do whatever I want to with it. And I'm just going to leave it as it is, and I'm going to say OK. And then I should be able to place that image right here on the wall. And I can select it and I can move it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and close this view. And now here on my 3D view, you can see we have that image on the wall. So it's very easy to add pictures. The other thing that looks good in interior views, besides adding people and things like that, is to add some plants. So now I have some plants added into my drawings. Again, I would want to add people in here. So I would be adding people to all these levels, but I'm only going to add them to my first level. Let's go with Kathy, put her right here by the door. Florence, put her right here. Let's go with Lisa. We'll put her right here by the elevator. And then let's add some men in. Put him back over here. And person right back there. There we go. So we've got lots of people, we've got some pictures on the walls, we've got some paint on the walls, we've got our flooring, we've added some plants, we would have light fixtures, lots of different things that we can add into our renderings. Then once we get it the way that we want it, so I'm going to go ahead and go to View, and I'm going to go to Render. Again, I'm going to go to Draft, Printer, leave it at 150. I want Interior, Sun, and Artificial both. Again, I want to go set it to Still, and I'm going to go to Summer because I want as much light in there as I can get, and I want to go to Springfield, Missouri. Say search and say OK, and I'm going to go for 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and ground plane, apply, OK, and I'm just going to do a quick render, see what we got going on. Now, a couple of things you'll notice: those plants that I brought in from Revit City, they have no color to them, so those are not going to work. Those are going to be things that I will pick up on and notice. This is starting to get some real nice shadowing in here. It's a little bit bright, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be that bright when we actually render it. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and set this for my final render. I'm going to go back to Best. I'm going to set my DPI to 600, and my background in here doesn't really matter because I can't really see much. So that's all okay. And then I'm going to go to Render in Cloud. And again, I want Still Image, I want Final, and I want 16, and I'm going to say Render. Some things we can do if we decide that maybe it's too dark back in here and we don't want to actually go in and add light fixtures. If you go to Architecture and you go to Component and you go to Place a Component, go to Load Family, and if we go back to Lighting and we go to Architectural and we go to Internal, you'll see down here you have something called Studio Light. Basically, this is very similar, like if you've ever had a professional photo shoot done where they bring in like the umbrella type things and they have special lights and they add lighting to the space. That's basically what this does. So if I come in here, I select my Studio Light, and I come in here and I place these in here. Saying they're not visible in the floor plan view, which is fine. So you see over in here there are these little lights that I've just added in here. Now you have to be real careful with these because they can cause it to look spotted, but they can add just some general ambient lighting to the space. So if I just do a quick render, you can see it's adding some additional light back here, and I've got them a little bit too close to the ceiling. I'd want them to be down a little bit lower so they're not reflecting off of the ceiling. But you can add studio lights in to lighten up some spaces without actually having to add light fixtures. So here's the final interior rendering, and again back in here where it's kind of dark, I probably would add some studio lights. Once you get the rendering done, you need to look through it. Again, the plants, I would need to change those out. This door here on the elevator must be like some kind of a reflective metal. I might want to change that because it looks like you're just walking out to the outside. Same thing back here, we got some weird light coming in. So you're going to want to kind of look at things like that. We've got some really nice shadowing from the curtain wall here on the floor. Maybe I want to change that view just a little bit where I pick up a little bit more on this side. So again, you want to do your renderings early enough that you have time to go back in and make changes and modifications. But kind of have fun with this. This is the fun part. The hard work is really pretty much over with. In the next video, we will go over your assignments.